they just sent a major statement extending their season winning streak against one of the top teams in the league in the style that they wanted to play, benefiting their superstar. Welcome, Devil fans. Glad you're here. Great night to be a Devils fan. 5-2 winners against Toronto in Toronto. Season win streak turns up to 5 games, beating one of the best teams, better teams over the past 5 years in the league. So when you're playing a team like Toronto, and you know who they have, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, they had a good offseason even though they lost Mitch Marner. They're still one of the top teams in the league. And when you're facing offensive superpower, like we saw against Edmonton with Draisaitl and McDavid, you need your stars to, at least kind of be with their stars, and if not, outplay them. And that's exactly what Jack Hughes did tonight. His 3rd career hat trick tonight for Jack Hughes. Got the scoring started and ended the scoring with an empty net goal. He was absolutely terrific. Devils needed it. Devils got it tonight. And Jack Hughes, a hat trick, his 3rd of his career in a 5-2 win against Toronto. So you saw this game went, and Devils had a really good first period. Toronto found a way outside of it, winning the first period 1-0. And the Devils have found themselves in some holes this year. They find themselves down 1-0, unfortunately, quite often. It does happen. But what we've seen from this team, and maybe we didn't see it as much 2 years ago, or maybe it just happened too often, we know this team can battle back, and we know that they can take advantage of certain points of the game, and they can really do some damage. I mean, you saw this second period wound up. Instead of the first 5 minutes, Devils scored 3 times. And I don't care who you're playing. When a team scores on you 3 times in 5 minutes, it definitely, kind of messes with your mental, kind of takes you a little bit off of your game. I mean, clearly that's what the coach thought. He called a timeout. Greg Berube says, okay, you know what? We start off these first 5 minutes giving up 3 goals, even though maybe I shouldn't have challenged that goal that the Devils scored for goalie interference. We're a little rattled right now. Devils come out to the second period. They scored 3 goals, and you could have argued in the first period they should have had the lead. So that kind of set the tone going forward. Devils stuck with their game. And what the Devils did do really nice tonight, and what they want to do, is that they were great in a transitional game again. You saw the speed affecting the Maple Leafs tonight. I mean, the Devils were clearly the faster team. They were clearly getting the better chances. Their superstars showed up. The goaltending was there. They were clearly getting their way with Toronto tonight. Toronto had a tough night in terms of their stars creating chances. Like that Austin Matthews line, didn't really do a ton. I know William Nylander kind of had a good game and his line played a little bit better. But, Austin Matthews, Matthew Nyes, Domi, they didn't do a ton. And when you take out a line like that for Toronto, taking out one of their superstars, not letting him do a ton, at least not letting him getting on the scoreboard, and then you get your superstar getting a hat trick, you give yourself a better chance to win. Usually when you play a game like that, you kind of increase your odds, give yourself a better chance to win. And from the Devils forwards in general tonight, they were all really good. I know Jack Hughes had the hat trick. They scored 5 goals. 1 came from a defenseman. They took advantage of their opportunities. They found ways to create in the cycle game, off the rush, create odd man rushes. We had Brenden Dillon scoring on an odd man rush tonight. A 4-on-1 going the other way against Toronto. The guy who got the puck and scored was Brenden Dillon. So everybody was contributing tonight. Offensively, they did a great job. Nico Hischier's second line was absolutely awesome tonight. They didn't even get a point, and they were still very noticeable. They had multiple odd man rushes. Nico Hischier was basically 70% from the dot tonight on 23 faceoffs. So you saw what the Devils did tonight, and you saw that they were able to play their style of hockey against Toronto tonight. And Toronto, I understand. They've struggled in the playoffs. But whenever you have a team that has Austin Matthews, William Nylander, Johnathan Tavares, can go multiple point per game players even though they've lost Mitch Marner, whenever you have that, they're always a threat. I don't care what the history has said with them and they haven't won in the playoffs. They're always going to be a threat. When you have 90-point players, 40 goal scorers. Players who are in the Ott Ross conversation, in the Rocket Richard, that's always going to be a threat. A team that consistently makes the playoffs is always going to be a threat. They haven't missed playoffs since 2017. That was their first year in. But that team is going to be a threat. And tonight, the Devils contended with them. They contended with them on their home ice. Sheldon Keefe getting his first win against the Toronto Maple Leafs, which was really nice for him. And, all in all, we looked at the forwards. Defensively, yeah, you know what? A little bit of a defensive breakdown on that second goal. Kind of letting Toronto get maybe a little bit more back into the game. But overall, pretty good. You kept Austin Matthews off the score sheet. His line didn't create a ton. For the most part, defense looked pretty good. Dougie Hamilton, I think, played arguably his best game of the season tonight. He was noticeable. Luke Hughes keeps trending in the right direction. So all in all, the Devils' performance tonight, you saw it. They were able to be good in the transitional game. When they got the puck in Toronto's zone, they did create. And that was important for New Jersey tonight, because when you're playing a Toronto team that gets the first goal and, they have all these goal scorers and you have your backup goalie and you're on a 4-game winning streak and you're on the road, it's a little bit tougher to win. Tougher environment to win in. And Jake Allen played good enough. Actually played really well. Defense didn't give up a ton of chances, but when they did, Jake Allen, that save at the end, that's about as good as it gets. I think probably right now, probably the save of the season. That blocker save he had on Morgan Riley right at the end of the game, kind of helped seal the deal for New Jersey, or the Jack Hughes goal right after. Set that up, but Jack Hughes maybe doesn't get the hat trick tonight if that doesn't happen. But if the win doesn't happen, the Devils definitely aren't looking at first place in the Metro. And I know it's early, and I know people go, well, you know what? You can't be looking at the standings right now. I can't help myself. I always like to see when the Devils are first in the standings, and I'll be watching the standings from game 1 to game 82. I know, doesn't matter a ton right now, but I think we all like to look, or at least like to see where teams are trending. And the Devils right now, yeah, they're trending okay. They're 5 wins, 5-win streak. Remember, they didn't even have a 4-game win streak for the past 2 years. So I'll take a 5-game win streak and I'll look at it and I'll feel good about it. But tonight in Toronto, they did what they needed to do. They shut down Austin Matthews' line. They didn't take a ton of penalties. Jack Hughes had a hat trick. So you got scoring from your superstar. Your goaltender played well. You eliminated the Austin Matthews line. All in all, I don't know what more you could have asked for out of New Jersey tonight. Second line, great again, as usual. Created multiple chances. And Sheldon Keefe, first win against Toronto. So got to feel good for him. Got to feel good for Sheldon Keefe. Tomorrow night in Minnesota, Nico Daws, I assume, is getting the start because Jake Allen started tonight. So Nico Daws probably in net against the Wild. Going for 6 straight games. Back in New Jersey tomorrow, back-to-back. I guess technically you're traveling. So, those games are always tricky. So we'll see what goes on with that. Tomorrow night in Minnesota, give me a score prediction tomorrow. Score prediction for tomorrow against the Wild. Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all really soon.